If your eyes glaze over at the mention of documenting systems and processes in your business, give me 15 minutes to change your mindset about this. I'm Kronda Adair. I'm the CEO of Karvel Digital, and in this video, I want to share 3 things with you. The first is how the lack of documentation and mapping of your processes is contributing to overwhelm and your inability to stabilize and scale your business. The second is a new tool that we found that makes mapping your processes so easy and so quick and so easy for anyone to do and understand. Third, I want to share with you how having your business processes mapped and documented actually saves you time and money and allows you to streamline your tech stack. I'm sick and tired of everybody saying that mapping and documentation is unsexy. Do you know what's unsexy? Being overwhelmed, not knowing where your data is, not being able to make decisions because you have data somewhere, but you can't get to it and you can't look at it in a way that makes sense. When you have your data organized in your business and when you have clear processes that are mapped out in a visual way that everybody can see, you will save so much time in your business. And you can do with that time whatever you want. Every single client meeting that I've had in this past month has come back to this issue of mapping and systems and documentation. So let me give you a few examples. We had a new client come into our $1 million systems retainer, and she was in the process of launching a new offer, and it was a blended offer, both in person and virtual. So she was flailing around with what software to use and how to tie everything together. And so I was like, time out, let's stop. And we took the time to list out all of the technology that she was currently using and all the technology that she might use, and then map that technology to her requirements, the things that she needed done in her business. One of the things that I always say is stop buying technology and start hiring technology. So we literally mapped out the jobs that her software needed to do, and then we mapped those requirements onto the software that was able to do the job. So now we have clear choices. We've narrowed it down from the hundreds of apps that she could choose into just a few that she could choose. The second thing that I did was I actually showed her by mapping out the process. These are the different scenarios. And I actually have a whole video where I go into detail about that. So you can go to my YouTube channel and you can check that out. The result of that is that we were able to really quickly make a decision about here are the softwares that we're going to hire to do these things. And we're able to get up and running so that she can actually launch her program quickly. Client number 2 came to me, and she's been on a certain email and CRM platform for a while, and it's just not working out. She doesn't love it. She's not able to do what she needs to do. But the thought of moving all of that data that's really tied into her website was really overwhelming. And when she came to me, I said, hey, the first thing we need to do is map this out, because 1, you don't have the skill to actually be making this decision, and 2, you don't have the data of what is actually going on with this software. What job is it doing? What pages are attached to it? How many contacts? What's the customer journey? She didn't know any of that. So I said, okay, let's map this out. And once we do that, she's going to be able to, again, have clarity and make some decisions. And I'm going to show you a little later in this video exactly what I mean by that. The third example is a client where we did already have her customer journey mapped out. And she came to me and really wanted to quickly spin up an event, and people needed to be able to register for the event, get follow-up emails, get the calendar invites, all those things. And because we had already mapped out that process, we were able to spin up that whole process in a matter of days. So when you have documentation and when you have things mapped out, you are able to move really quickly. And what most people are doing is they're just moving quickly, and they're just spewing data, and they're grabbing software, and they're on AppSumo, and then it all ends up in a mess, and you wonder why you have a headache when you think about your technology. Now, this concept is so foreign to a lot of people that a lot of people ask me, what do you mean when you say mapping your processes? So let's get into it. I want to show you a tool called Puzzle that we started using earlier this year to map out our processes. Now, you can do this with lots of tools, and we have tried many of them. We have tried Miro, we've tried Lucidchart, we've tried Whimsical, and those tools are great. But one of the problems that comes up is they are what we call everything whiteboards. So here's an example of maps that we've made in Miro. Here's an example of some maps that we've made in Whimsical. And there are all kinds of ways that you can do this. There's so much mental overhead in deciding, okay, what color should the boxes be? And what types of symbols should I use? And how much detail am I going to provide? That takes up so much mental overhead that it's really hard to actually get the mapping done. So when I saw Puzzle, I immediately took to it. And I immediately went all in. I took all of our core processes that we were using the most and I started mapping them out in Puzzle. So let me show you how it works. One of the things I love about Puzzle is the simplicity of the visual language and the consistency of the visual language. So everything starts with a step. You create a single step, and that could be a step in your onboarding process, your sales process, anything you like. And you give that step a title, and then there's things that you can quickly see at a glance. So let's say you were mapping a lead generation process, and this is your landing page. So the first step is someone comes to your landing page, and now we want to know what are the tools associated with that landing page. So in Puzzle, you can add tools, people, teams, and then connect those to your workflows. I can go over here and I can say add tool, and let's say my landing page is on WordPress. So now I get a nice little visual icon of the software that's associated with that tool. You can add multiple tools, but you can only have one icon. The next thing is, what's the status of this particular step? Is it a draft? Is it in progress? Is it testing? Is it live? So I can go up here and I can change the status. So in progress, we get this little tool icon. And if it's live, we get a little green icon. So that makes it really easy to see what's the stage, where is this step in the process, and does it still need work? And then here in the lower right corner, we have what type of step it is. So if I come up here, it defaults to manual, but there's all these kinds of steps. So we could have an automated step and you get a little gear. Maybe this is an email in your welcome sequence. So the icon changes depending on what kind of step. Maybe it's a conditional, in which case the whole shape changes. And again, this makes it really easy to see at a high level what kind of step it is. So now that we know the basic anatomy of a step, you can keep adding steps to your process, and then you can connect those together with arrows. So let's say someone lands on your landing page and they opt in and they go to your confirmation page. We're going to make that a web page type, and we'll make this a web page. And you've got your arrow between them. Now, over here in the sidebar, here's where you can add detail. There's a notes section. You can literally add anything that you need to know about this step. So I tend to put things like links to pages, links to automations. If it's an email, you can put the entire copy of the email in there. And so you have everything you need at your fingertips. Once you have a collection of steps, you can group those into a section. And your sections all line up here in the sidebar. So we can look at this section, which is our onboarding for our $1 million systems. So we can go through and I can see at a glance exactly which tools are involved, which tool is handing off to which other tool, and this system is completely automated. If I want to go in here and look at the Zap, then I could click on that and the sidebar would open up and I could click through directly to the Zap if I needed to make some kind of change. When I started using this tool, it was so easy to do and so quick that I started mapping not only our processes, but all of our clients' processes this way. And we quickly actually became the #1 user of the tool, only behind the CEO. This is so great. I use this on consulting calls. I had a consulting call with a client, and again, we were trying to map out, she's re-envisioning her marketing process. So I just started drawing this out and mapping things out. And when she looked at it, she said, something in me unclenched when I was able to actually see it. Something about being able to visualize and see what is happening allows you to go in, make decisions, make changes, and make updates, and it's so much easier. And let's face it, moving boxes around is cheap, and moving and migrating software is expensive. So you'll get so much value and so much ROI out of doing the thinking first and mapping out what it is that's actually happening, and then mapping that to what you want to happen in the future. It saves so much time, it saves so much brain space, and every client that I've done this for loves it. You can also cut down on meetings with this. We've had meetings with clients where we've had a 90-minute meeting and it was just clicking around inside of a landing page tool trying to figure out what happens when things happen. When someone goes here, what happens next? What happens next? That whole meeting could have been eliminated if there had been documentation. And since we've documented their systems, meetings have been eliminated. We're able to go in when they ask for something. If we need to go update something, we're able to go in and quickly find what we need, go to the exact spot where we need to make a change and make that change. So it's incredibly efficient for the client and for us. How do you keep track of what's going on in your business? Are you keeping track? Let me know in the comments. So this is all great, but it gets better because they continue to add integrations so that you can link your other software tools to your Puzzle account. At the time of this writing, the integrations they have include Zapier, Make, and HubSpot. So what does that mean? It means instead of creating a step and saying, okay, this step uses Zapier, and maybe putting the link into the description, you can actually link your Zapier account and it will pull in all of your Zaps. And so then you can add that particular Zap, and now it's automatically going to show the status. It's automatically going to link to that Zap so you can visit that workflow if you need to make any changes. How does this actually save you time and money? Let's look at an example with choosing your tech stack. Almost everybody in my world right now is complaining about the rising price of software. They're thinking about migrating from one software to another, and they're trying to figure out how to reduce their software costs. So one thing you can do in Puzzle is you can add all of the tools that you use in your business in the tools section. And if they don't have your tool, which they probably do, but if they don't have your tool, you can add it, and you can add a little icon, or they'll add it for you. Once you've added your tools and you start connecting those tools to your steps, it actually keeps track of how many steps are associated with that tool. So let's say you're thinking about making a change to your email platform. You're sick of the rising prices of ActiveCampaign and you're going to move somewhere else. So you can now see, hey, ActiveCampaign is associated with over 400 steps in processes inside of our business. So that is going to be a big, expensive migration in terms of time and money. Maybe another tool in your system only has 10 steps associated with it, and so you can replace that or you can get rid of it altogether. But you're able to actually see that when you connect your tools to your steps and your processes. If you are thinking about migrating from one tool to another, knowing what your current process is allows you to then build a new process this cheap way by moving boxes around so that you know exactly what your new tool is going to need to do, and you can go and research that tool and make sure it's going to do the job that you need it to do. So hopefully I've convinced you that this is important. It still might be something that you like doing. I know I'm weird and I like mapping systems and processes and seeing how things work together, and our clients just like having it presented to them and getting clarity. So you don't have to be the one who likes to do it, but it does need to happen in your business if you want to have peace and if you want to have peaceful automation in your business. This is going to help you so much. If you understand the importance of this and you want to get help, there's two ways that we can help you. We have done for you services, so you can inquire about getting your business processes mapped, or maybe a particular important process mapped to get you started. We also have Automation Club, which is our membership designed to help you automate one new thing per month in your business. So if you do like this stuff and you want to check it out and you want to get started, but you want some support in doing that, click the link in the description and you can join us for a free 30-day trial of Automation Club. That's long enough for you to come to office hours and get help getting started with this or anything else that you're working on. You can experience the community, and there's no obligation if you don't like it. You can check out at the end of your 30 days, but if you do, stick around and we can help you start getting some of this done. If you found this helpful, don't forget to do all the things like subscribe and share, and I'll see you next time.